What up, my freaks? RuinusInsight here with part 35 of my Total War Warhammer 3 modded Tiktaq'to Immortal Empires expanded campaign. So as we saw last time, a bunch of battles as usual, including an expedition fight, and perhaps more importantly, the trial or debut, rather, of the Honor Guard of Heshwatla legendary unit, and Mazda Mundi's personal guard. I do like the fact that they provide that missile resistance aura for nearby heroes, as Mazda becomes effectively pretty much immune to range damage, or at least takes minimal amount from it. And ooh, 79 melee attack. Gotta love the sort of slan buffs that we're getting, because it applies to Mazda as well. But anyway, in terms of what we gotta do this particular turn, I think, unless I'm mistaken, and I'm hoping I'm not, that we're ready to end the turn and probably get some fights going. And oh right, well, we got one Rite of Awakening left probably this campaign. We're definitely not making our way through another 47 turns, so we'll pop it off now. And as for the lore that we're going to take, and that's a question. We already have Fire, Light, and Life. Mazda Mundi has some... Death is kind of boring. Don't get me wrong, I like Death, but I don't know, spamming Spirit Leech. Metal is kind of an interesting one. Certainly not something I would associate with Lizardmen as much, and is probably the most different from the lures that we've currently been using. Maybe we do Metal. I was thinking either a high or Metal. Let's do Metal. Why not? And also, let's see what kind of slan it's gonna be. It's another 5th gen. Alright, so another very speedy 5th gen. Fair enough. Man, so yeah, it looks like we don't get a 2nd gen, but oh well, not a big deal. If 2nd gen are even in this. I guess we can now end the turn, so let's end it. Alright, I believe we are besieging Ancient City. Okay, we're besieging a lot of places, and... oh no, I forgot to do the battle with Tic-Tac between the episodes. Yep, that's why I should have done it immediately, but yeah, you reload the game and then you forget. But this one I didn't forget about, and I want to see those Behaluses, Amacanth, Saurus, and Blessed Chameleon Stalkers working together. Go Washti. Alrighty, here we go. Should be an interesting one. We've got this army with its 4 Behaluses, and admittedly we haven't been using the Kryptonauts as much, or Amacanths rather, as much, since we haven't had the chance to really have a good fights with this army against particularly strong opponents, but this will be one. Also, I really like the way these guys look. They're basically like a mix between a horned one and a chameleon skink, and I really appreciate that, which is exactly why we put chameleon skinks in this particular army. There we go. They do have the chameleon eyes and the chameleon tail after all, even if they are many times the size. Anyway, we're going to start the battle out by moving towards the enemy with our skink oracle, and will our carnosaurs and our Behaluses. There's a black dragon and a hydra to be fighting after all. Oh, pretty nice shot from the oracle there. Solid amount of damage. And maybe an anti-large type unit, but man, an Oracle on a Troglodon has a lot of value to it. Anyway, these 2 Behaluses may be dwarfed in size by the Hydra, but they will be crushing it, I imagine, with their anti-large, and have already taken about 25% of its HP off. In the meantime, the Amacanths and the Chameleon Stalkers are doing a nice chameleon blob, and have charged a unit of Executioners here, which is a kind of interesting matchup. In theory, the Executioner should mince at least a decent portion of the Chameleon Stalkers, but at the end of the day, they're also going to get minced due to their relatively low melee defense, and the fact that we got plenty of armor-piercing damage coming in from the Amacanths. There we go. Alrighty, well, those Executioners are pretty much out. The enemy Black Dragon has landed, and similar to the War Hydra, which is probably in bad shape, the Black Dragon's about to be in bad shape as well. Admittedly, it's 2-on-1 monster-wise, but the Behaluses are tier 4s compared to the tier 5s, and, you know, why not take advantage of them? They do good anti-large work, and damage-wise, they're not taking a huge amount of hurt either from the Black Dragon or from the War Hydra, which at this point has been defeated, while comparatively little damage, if any damage, has been done to the to the Bahalises. And again, I really like the way that the Bahalises look. Oh, looks like the Black Dragon actually falls before the War Hydra does. And yeah, actually, that does make sense. It's a pretty tanky beastie. The Hydra, I mean. And now the War Hydras, the Chameleon Stalkers and the Amakanth have moved in to reinforce the Saurus main line against the Blackguard of Nagaron, which are one of the only few units, and that still remain both all the way on the left hand and the right hand corner, who just saw Washti take down the enemy, whatever it was, some kind of lord. And the battle is very nearly ours, and in fact, with the fall of the lord, the Blackguard of Nagaron will shatter, and the battle will be ours. And oh wow, okay. Valhalla's jumping right into the screen. Alright, just enjoying the animations of these guys. But anyway, lovely little fight for Washti. Hopefully we can find a few more as we go. Alrighty, there we go. Oh wow, I didn't notice we had 5.9 thousand spawning sequence. That's nice, that's real nice. Sort of battle. Actually, I've been giving these to Slan because of the additional mana defense that it offers, so probably not something too bad for them. Anyway, did a nice little bit of work from Washti's army. Obviously, the army concept isn't yet complete, since we want the blessed spawning of Quan Chi mace unit types so that the entire army can sneak up. Though admittedly, it's going to probably take a while to get them. Almost tempted to transfer the mace unit from Gorok and just leave Krokgar rather. Leave Krokgar with spears, since he has other units to act as a hammer. Possible. Anyway, nice job from this army. Occupy the ancient city of Quintex, and down goes the capital of the Cult of Pleasure. Snicketch is going... Oh, right, I forgot about this as well. Or at the very least, I forgot about it in terms of we can still fight it. What are they even going to do about all of our air units? Nothing, that's what. Go. Alrighty, here we go. Oh, it looks like Rampage. Oh, we have Feral Rage on these guys. Well, that's not great. Huh, wait, are we in Cornate Corrupted territory? Why does everybody have Feral Rage? Interesting. If annoying. The big annoyance, of course, being the Pirayaras, which are super fragile little, I don't know, bat-like things. They are cute though. Anyway, and they're going to be forced into combat by that, so we're going to have to move to help them out as best we can. I'm going to summon those Riperdactyls to absorb a little bit more of those hits than we'd like the Pirayaras to absorb. I'm going to very much enjoy seeing all of these guys flitting around the Thunder Lizards once we get those on field. And the Pterodon Riders. Again, that animation every time I see it. Oh, what can you do? Anyway, we moved the Riperdactyls and the two Bahalises, as well as Tlaqua himself, into the sort of main blob of enemies, wherein we're looking to protect the Pirayaras as much as possible. The bomb drop, rock bomb, whatever, rock drop comes down from the various Pterodon Riders with bola and with a spear or javelin alike. And it looks like we do clear a decent amount of the enemy rats there. That said, we are going to start taking damage on, well, actually, this Pirayara unit is down to maybe 15%, well, maybe not 15, 20% of its HP. I'm going to have to be careful with that, but there's not much we can do with the Feral Rage and the fact that we lack the ability to take them out of it, at least most of them out of it. But what are you going to do? I do wish the mod gave you easier access to the Pirayaras, since they're the only tier 1 troop that you can get from the mod, right? And they're really quite they're tier 2 apparently. They're really quite fragile, and they don't have buffs especially. And I figured it might be better to be able to sort of use them like you would use Harpies or Furies or Fellbats, things that you, or Carrion, things that you might be willing to send in and sacrifice. But because they're a rare mod unit, I'd rather not risk losing them whenever possible. Anyway, the fight against the rats continues. Tlaqua and the two Bahalas pets that he has have been in the center of the enemy formation the entire time. There have summoned Riperdactyl Riders have at this point being nearly destroyed. I just haven't decided whether to keep Tlaqua on his cold run or whether to give him that Carnosaur. And we do have a lot of other Carnosaur riding lord. Well, maybe not a lot, but obviously we have Grimlaw, Rocky's mount, and then several of the old bloods will also have those guys, so not sure. Anyway, time to clear out the enemies at teensy bit. We're going to summon that Skink Priest avatar and drop a Comet of Cassandora on the enemy, like so. Clearing out a few more of those rats and following that up with a nice Wind Blast. The bounce power has shifted to about 70% in our favor, though the enemy has done a decent bit of damage to our Blessed Pterodon riders in several places. These guys are down to 20% of their HP. These guys are down to 30-35. The enemy Lord, the enemy Assassin Lord, however, has at this point been killed off by one of our Behalases. Good luck escaping that thing. I think in terms of appearance after the Gamaboro riders, I like these guys the most. They look really neat. And yes, I'm fully in agreement with the comment and from a number of episodes ago saying that they're the sort of the edgelords of the dinosaurs, and they are pretty edgy in appearance, I admit it, but they look pretty awesome nonetheless. Edgy in a good way. I like the Dark Elves. If you go edgy, you gotta go completely over the top edgy. But anyway, what do we got here? Plague Monks are the only things that remain on field now, and Tlashbach will take care of them. There we go. Nice tail swing, taking both of them out, and those were the last. And now there is one more. There was one more, as I think it just got crushed by the Behalas. Beautiful. Alrighty. Well, with that, the battle is ours. We certainly had to work for that one, more than I was originally perhaps expecting, but, everybody is damaged, but everybody's alive and will live to fight another day. It would have been easier if we could have, sort of engaged in combat a little bit more patiently, but due to the feral rage on those Pirayaras, we really had no choice but to engage immediately and try to keep them alive, which we succeeded at, but at the cost of additional damage that we otherwise would not have taken. You get pets. Alright, there we go. Fun little fight. I wasn't really originally intending for Tlashbach to fight until he got his Thunder Lizards, but not a bad thing, I think. He enjoyed himself and his two pet Behalases did, I'm sure, as well. Though the Piriyaras, because of that feral rage on them, or the rampage, is, I don't know, makes them pretty iffy as ultra-fragile flying units that also go into a rampage, and to know about that one. Anyway, peace treaty with Ikid? Yeah, I don't think so. This Tehenuan has landed upon Skaven shores, and the wrath of Sotek must be brought to all the rats therein. Gotta sacrifice them to the flying serpent. I noticed that the greenskins did not attack Tiktaq'to, which is, I guess, fine. Might still have to manually fight that one, but oh well. You want a trade agreement? I'm gonna say no for now, though. I might just let the ogres go and live. We've fought some ogres, and it's not super necessary that we piss off more of our allies by attacking their ogre friends. I don't know. I'll consider it. And hey, we got another one of these Cathan fights. The alchemist again. Deep within the site, she has established a foundry. She walks outside it among the trees, twirling a parasol in her remaining hand. It seems our poison darts had forced her to amputate her arm. Regardless, she seems cheerful. A group of peasant girls accompany her and nervously glance about the jungle. Yeah, once again, it's primarily peasants as the main line, and then some nice artillery, a couple of sky junks, all that sort of stuff. Shouldn't be an issue. Go. Alright, here we go. The Cathan Alchemist once again blunders into the jungle and is going to be punished for it. Although, perhaps I speak too soon, as the first to get punished in this particular battle is going to be our Skink Oracle, which gets targeted immediately by both the Crane Gunners and two sets of Grand Cannons, which take it down to about 40% of its HP, and we're going to try to book it on out of there. Oh, wow. Alright, well, hopefully the Oracle will survive. In the meantime, however, focusing it down meant not focusing anything else down, and our chameleon stalkers have engaged with the peasants, though admittedly the AI is doing a good job of taking advantage of this particular choke point. The units of Croxagores follow the chameleon stalkers in, and the slow-moving Saurus will follow them in afterwards. And after that, I imagine, the much more fragile peasants are going to start breaking like so. Up in the sky, we have our summoned Ripperdactyls going after one of the sky junks, while Ruinous Serpent distracts and otherwise damages the other. And of course, we have other units that have moved in on the flanks. The Parasaur Riders, together with one unit of Chameleon Stalkers, and the Yahellocs with the other, have broken the enemy's left and rightmost flanks, and frankly, the enemy army is just about done for as well, with the balance of power shifting rapidly to 95% in our favor. A few more of those long spears to be brought down, and the enemy's army will shatter. Wavering with army losses, yes indeed. And there they go. With that, the peasants are out, and look at those Croxagores bounding in. There we go. If killing machines, why so cute? Alrighty, well, with that, another one of these Cathan armies is crushed, and I guess the Alchemist is in as well. I was looking for the Alchemist herself on the field, but, well, I guess gone as well. Well, the Expedition Chief does do quite a bit of damage, as we've seen before. Anyway, nice fight. Alright, there we go. Mostly not a problem, with the sole exception of all the cannons trying to focus the Skink Oracle down fairly effectively, I might add, as it got brought down to 25% its HP and, well, yeah, severely beat up. I guess we'll heal the Oracle? Do we need to, really? Maybe we don't. Take the money. Alright, and that will have, what, did that complete the thing? It did indeed complete the thing. Oh, there's no final sort of, or maybe it's after this. Washti, lose that sort of battle. Province secured, Titan Peaks, that's this, we'll go for, hey, we get to keep the Vaults of Quintex. Well, isn't that lovely? I wanted mostly the growth increase, and interesting, at tier 2 it gives 15 growth, and tier 3 it gives less? How the heck would they do that? And tier 3 is actually better than tier 2 for us then. Or tier 2 is better than tier 3 for us, as odd as that may seem. Go figure. And we don't have a lot of obsidian either. Delete the spawn pools of the Braves, build up the Crogscore Labor District, and keep the Underground Lagoon for now. Again, I'm not sure whether we're keeping... Well, actually, no, we'll probably keep this place. Alright, fine. Then delete the Underground Lagoon and then upgrade this location. Anyway, Titan Peaks secured. Upkeep production for Saurus Infantry and Temple Guard. Nice, considering we've increased their usage numbers. How did you receive a plague? How the heck is that? Oh, right, the Skaven gave it to us. Yeah, okay, well, annoying, but not a huge deal, hopefully. No armies and no real places to spread it to, anyway. And there we go, Thunder Lizard unlocked. Fantastic. I guess we're going to give Big Boy the War Banner as well. Huh. Although ammunition too, does that mean it has basically no ammunition? I'm not entirely sure. Sometimes the ammunition thing is kind of lying, but anyway, the colonists have scattered. A giant has called on rain to douse the fires, and it trumpets in triumph. What? A giant has called on rain to douse the fires, and it trumpets in triumph. A giant... Okay, I don't know what that means. A Croxagore hefts a fallen beam to reveal the alchemist. She regards the Croxagore with fear, but finding herself too fatally injured to move, she relaxes and accepts her fate, but not the indignity of being rained upon. Seeing her struggle with her only arm to lift her parasol, the expedition chief takes and opens it, and plants it to cover her. She flashes a delighted smile. I admit I had pictured you as being taller, she says, and then she points the parasol at the chief and pulls a trigger, but it only clicks. The gunpowder has gotten wet. She smiles again and closes her eyes one last time to the raindrops. Alright, nice little story. Thunder Lizard, you are going to go to Tlaqwa's army immediately, who is hopefully going to be able to auto-resolve what remains here. Yes, he is. Alright, auto-resolve it is. And occupy. Beautiful. Datum of power, audacious, and while we don't have the little mini Thunder Lizards as yet, we do have the big boy, 10,000 gold, recruitment cost, and 1450. Yeah, that's a fair bit. Lovely, but the thing I wanted is all the little tiny flyers flying around the big one. And we will get the war banner. We'll see whether it is... Sun Standard of Chotek is also a decent option because it would give it... Well, let's put it in the army for now, but I figure war banner first. Weapon strength and reload time reduction. How many spare war banners do we have, incidentally? Huh. I gotta think about that. And grab administrator as well, just to move. Anyway, lovely. Tlaqua, you have one more settlement belonging to these guys to take out? Two more settlements. I guess they're all the way through Karakate Peaks and Valle's Sorrow? Assuming that's not Moors, and these guys could be down here. It's also potential. I guess we'll find out when we get there. Anyway, Kale Kano, you should not be able to auto-resolve. No, it still kills one of the Kryptonoths. Oh, you gotta be kidding me. That's kind of annoying, considering it's kind of a weak garrison. I might fight it just for fun. I'll think about it. Let's see what else we have. Tic-Tac, are you able to auto-resolve now? Grimgor's going for Firemouth. Not that we really care about Firemouth. Alright, you can auto-resolve. And you're gonna go hunt down Grimgor. He'll retake Firemouth, but it's not like we care about it. Hey, free alignments. Oh, we're near maxed out as well. Again with them. What were we doing with alignments here? Let me just see here. Not your guys. Quetgar, yes, you two. I would like you to get spawning of Quan Chi. 86, yes, good. Alrighty, and then yes, we have moved Quetgar down here. There's nobody to fight as yet. Ugh. Minus 105. They haven't broken their agreements yet, though, so maybe it's fine. And the other guys hopefully are not too angry at us. How are you doing? Minus 101. Maybe I should have just wiped these guys out. Maybe it was a bad idea to let them live. We got... Huh. Declaring war while having treaties or shortly... Oh, we've retreatified. Yeah, okay, we'll see if they break their treaties. And then deal with them. But anyway... Quetgar's army concept is damage over time. We have the slow death on all the Blessed Ancient Stegs, which is what I was thinking of putting those extra war banners on. And then we have the two Blessed Pterodon Riders with Fire Liege Bolas who are going to get lethal poison on top of the explosions. Then we'll have Bleed on the Skink Skirmishers and Burn on the Ancient Salamanders. So Bleed, Burn, Slow Death, and Lethal Poison. We are missing Toxic Venom, which I'd like to get from the Wood Elves, but as long as despite the fact that we had them as allies forever, we basically can't even afford one of the Sisters of the Thorn as yet. Let me just see here. We've got Talzin and Arguan. Yeah, I don't think we're getting any of these guys. Ugh. Allegiances, I don't know, takes a little bit too long, but all good. Anyway, we are at 40 Old One's favor, meaning we can grab Secrets of Saurus and then go for Sequence of Grand Blessing and Sequence of Tepok's Will immediately next turn. And after we do those, go through another thing. Maybe we've done Skinks and Saurus, Cav, Guardians, or Beasts. We'll figure it out. Alright, anyway, let's start from the top once again. Ezozyme, you are... just out of range of Dragonfleet Port, but that's alright. We can go over there, and hey, they did sack it? They did indeed. We'll take this for ourselves then. They did take this place. Kind of annoying, but all good. Occupy, free territory. They were acting opportunistically, why not us, right? And Dragonfleet Port we will besiege, but not attack until we have the two Pterodon Riders replaced by the two Manticuda Riders that we will have in still 3 turns? Huh, I guess while you're doing those missions, this thing doesn't move forward, which is kind of unfortunate because that means a lot more turns. I mean, I guess we could just sit outside of Dragonfleet Port and wait. Though it will probably allow these guys to recruit, which is not a big fan thereof. But anyway, Crocky, are you able to reach the Moon Shard? Yes. Steel Tech, and the heck? Where are you going, game? No, not over there. I don't know why it does that sometimes. But all good. Occupy. Alright, Moonshard, don't collect the income. And who is next? Try to get through this turn fast. Gotta get to our next set of missions after all. I'm gonna say grab the Shrine of a... are we not able... Huh? I thought this was a land bridge. We can't... The heck? Can't click this at all. I guess the zone of control from Angariel is blocking the land bridge. Alright, fair enough. We'll get through that land bridge sooner rather than later, I'm sure. Alright, now, question. Do these guys have other armies? Okay, so there is one near here. Rathia the Dire Overseer. I don't actually know why you're moving towards us. It's kind of odd. Like the Steel Tech list. I'm gonna say you. Move to kill the... Wait, what do we have in terms of points available? Just the one? Let's get that slant force field. Alright. You, run away. And... Huh, are you gonna... I actually was hoping you wouldn't run too far away from this place. Alright, fine. You are then going to move to Vol's Anvil. I assume you won't be able to auto-resolve it. Actually, you will. Ah, beautiful. Alright, we'll move the other army in to reinforce them. To leech the XP, mostly. Like so. And then do this. So I'm gonna fight both armies together, but all good. Alexa, oh wow, okay, that hurts. But unsurprisingly. Yeah, unfortunately the birds, once again, seem to be pretty susceptible to auto-resolve hatred. And, well, I'm susceptible too, but anyway. Digga, go after Arethia the Dire Overseer. It's too little of an army to be worth our time right now, I think. Yeah, just kill it, just auto-resolve it. Need to fight something proper. Oh, wow, that is a... Okay, wait, we're gonna heal. Are you... Okay, you are able to go into encamp. Ooh, I got worried there for a second. Alright, keep on moving. Scroll of Blast, Sword of Anti-Heroes, you don't need that, but, well, it wasn't on offer anyway. Mazda, you are gonna go to Lothern. Huh, I wonder, would Admiral Rinmo be able to move into Lothern to... You know what? Besiege it. I'm wondering whether he can move into the port and then allow us to attack them both at the same time. Let's give him a chance, hence the besiegement. Mazda Conqua, you are, or were, waiting to get these ancient Ripperdactyls and stuff on the way, but I think, yeah, you can start moving. Go ferry them up north. And take a bit to move there. Alright, I'm gonna leave these tech thieves where they are. I think we're past the point where we need to, you know, take time to move them around. Tyrannicon, where do you want to go to next? The inner... Well, actually, the inner donut has been almost completely captured with the exception of Lothern. Go for the Unicorn Gate. And get, I guess, set up to fight Nakari. Alright, how to resolve this. Watch Nakari steal the Colossus, seduce the Colossodon Rex. Need to be a fly on that wall. Anyway, the alignment of monuments. And next up we got Ancianam. Alright, so you are moving north and Noshiotla is... I mean, I guess we'll just move past all this. Yeah, go this way. And then if you were to land, you could go through this territory, right? Okay, please. Aren't you in march stance? So we can't actually approach the carcass, can we? Oh. Huh? Where did... Huh? Okay, I don't know what happened and where it happened, but nothing spawned, and I don't see the island, and... Weird. Oh, you weren't in march stance, but there was no battle. Am I crazy? What the heck just happened? Okay, well, whatever, I'm just gonna ignore you. Go to march stance now, and go this way. Maybe it just shunted us out of march stance? Maybe that's what happened. Anyway, I guess what I wanted you to do is land here, so that's what we're gonna do then. Go here and you'll go out to sea again from this side. I just mostly don't want them to go in the same direction. Alrighty, because they're mostly moving north just to have fun. There's no, you know, settlements or anything that we want up there. You're headed out to Tobaro, which you can't reach, so you're gonna take the opportunity to ambush stance in case enemies decide to move this way. This little wood elf army has been hanging around here for a while now. It's kind of freaking me out. In the sense that watch it take some territory just because it can. Anyway, you, Rakiran, are not able to reach this place as yet, so keep on moving. Channel and grab Ice Rock Gorge. And Kale Kano, you outright this nonsense. I'm gonna ignore you for now. Zlatata, you... What were you waiting for? Alright, so these guys are going to Quetgar. In fact, Quetgar, I would like you to move out here and then land. Prepare your army. We're going to have to send you north, most likely, as well. And Zlatata, since your army is rather similar to Nakai, I think we're going to keep you around here near the dwarfs for now. Let's trade some units. I would like you to grab... I could take the Blessed Stags, why not? They'll act as your artillery. We have the Croxagores. We do want probably more Croxagores rather than these chameleon skinks. Are we able to recruit Croxagores here? I mean, in theory, we wanted the GEKOLO in this army, but it's going to take a bit. Anyway, you could just stay here, and then kind of all of you just stay here. Alrighty. Looks good to me. I also don't want to, you know, waste too much time moving like 50,000 armies up north, which is why I'm just going to keep those guys there. Otherwise, the sort of latter portion of the campaign will just devolve into... What the heck? Okay, go this way. We'll just evolve into just a bunch of traveling, and I don't necessarily want to do that. Oh, you're not in... Huh? You're not on any kind of stance, Nakai? Okay, you should have been in March stance for something, but all good. Alright, so now we just have the Tech Thieves and you. You're actually supposed to join an army, specifically this army. Which actually completes this army. There we go. Beautiful. Alright, so we can continue taking the territory there. And, you know, I'm just going to allow the besiegement to continue with Kael'Kano's force for one more turn. Maybe they'll be able to eventually do it without auto-resolving. Or with auto-resolving. Who knows? You, get Sacred Adornment. Wait, yeah, I'll still get Sacred Adornments. Yeah, you have no Saurus, but we can still get use out of both Hunter's Instinct and Ferocity of Age. Like so. And Lord Croak, would anything here help in terms of auto-resolve? Probably not. Ambush defense chance, ambush chance, enemy, yeah, it doesn't look like it. Alright, let's get the reduction on Deliverance of Itza level 1. Alright, I think then we're free to end the turn minus the building, which we can do real quick. What do we have here? Safari, building the public order buildings, and we gotta get the growth buildings up and running. Blood Peak. You know what, I don't think we care what's here because there's a decent likelihood we trade the place, but let's just build up some defenses just in case. Firemath will probably fall, so we can ignore it. Ashen Coast, you are nowhere near to maxed out, and I don't know whether we're keeping you, but we can keep building you up until we have decided. Aranya's Glade, let's upgrade both of these, or actually just the one. Yeah, we just wanted capacity, so neither one is critical. Oh, yeah, don't bother collecting the income. I prefer the growth. Pitahika, we will upgrade you because we're looking to trade you. Don't care about the gates, or at the very least don't care about investing in their upgrades. White Peak, yes, upgrade you because we need the marble more than anything. Avathir and Toranrock. Do we actually need defensive structures here? Funnily enough, I don't think we do. I'm just going to leave it alone for now. And start with the Skink Foraging Camp. Lost City of the Old Ones, yeah, we'll get the gold upgrade because there's a little bit of faction-wide reduction to be found there. And get the Old One Monument as well. Lovely. Avalorn. Upgrade the Exotic Animal Tamer. Sacred Pools, yes, upgrade to tier 4. We've got the Haunted Forest. Something had to be upgraded there, but we no longer have the money, so we don't know what it was. Skip, and commandment available. Not skip. Alignment of monuments, and now we can end the turn. Alrighty, I hope I didn't forget anything, but if I did, it's too late. Let's keep our expedition expeditioning as it does. And I guess from now on, just in general with the expeditions, we can ignore most of the fights. I know I have a hard time ignoring them because I find them fun, so we've probably fought more of them than needed. But they're fun, dang it. Anyway, the Dreadfleet, Noctilus, you have one... How are you still alive? Oh, it's just Tordranil? Yeah, you're about to be not still alive. And I also don't like where this is going. You're probably going to attack one of our ports, and we're going to need to hunt you down. All good. And yeah, Grimgor has built up even more of those Black Orcs and gotten all of his regiments of renown and is now attacking stuff, but we'll deal with him. Oh, he's gonna sack stuff. Well, that's another turn that he's gonna have to waste there, so that's his problem. It would have been probably considerably more effective if he had just captured it, because he could just move on to the next part before we reach it with Tiktaq'to. What do we have here? Kanquatak, you have... Well, we've already done the ignoring. I think we have to intervene here because it's +2 specimens, and we really want more Mantiquta Raiders for several armies, so I think we're going to deal with it. Oh, it's an ambush, however, which means it's probably not worth the fight, mostly just because the enemy will get absolutely crushed in an ambush, as we've seen many a time already. No need. We will, however, heal up just in case there's another fight. Alright, free specimens. Sacrifice to Mouth and Form, Scheme of Doom, Settlement sacked Firemouth. Technology research, old one's favor. Hey, another talisman of preservation. Prize hunter for Tiktaqto, no need because your army is free. Ancient steg for tech thief. No, 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 no. Stegodon for red and tall. I don't know who you are, but I'm gonna say okay. Tlashbog has his Carnosaur. Not so sure about that, yes, yeah, but anyway, a sequence of grand blessing will give us magical attacks on armies faction-wide and own territory, so basically helping us out on the defensive, which is something. But I do care about the campaign movement reduction of enemies, so why not? Alright, anyway. From the top one some more. Alright, so I guess since Mr. Grimgor is here, you, Tic-Tac, are going to move... I don't know, as close to him as possible. Fortunately, Tic-Tac can go pretty far. Unfortunately, he was going to go for Shangyang, but if we break Grimgor's army, then we can move on down there. It does look like we'll need another force down here. Anyway, Kalaw. Oh, there's an army out here. I'm wondering whether we should besiege this place with Kalaw's army instead, because it hasn't gotten the chance to fight. Oh, it doesn't have a mage either. I should get it a mage. Huh. Anyway, besiege this, which will allow Izozyme to move past it and move towards, soon, Hidden Ninja Village. And then, okay, you can do this. And then that may help us by bypassing the need to fight with Izozyme's army right now, while he doesn't have his last units, the other Mantiqutas. But he will soon. 2 more turns. Washti. You're supposed to go to... Well, actually it depends. Krokar, are you able to reach Forest of Arnheim? You're not, so just go for Arnheim itself then. And we'll steel tech while we're at it. Whereas Washti can... Oh, attrition, alright. You can auto-resolve this because it's garbage. Recurse Charm of Tepok, I don't know if I care for it, but something. And I will give you your... You have a quest still, Hand of the Gods. Yeah, I was like, wait a second. I know that he has something other than Reared Spear of Tlaqua, and obviously he'd have to have the Hand of the Gods. Anyway, we will take this off you, and we'll do that quest battle in 1 level. Alright, nearly there. Oh, I'm happy. I'm very happy now. I didn't realize we had another quest battle remaining, and that's a good thing in my book. Alright, anyway, Steel Tech, so you can continue. Like so and like so. And Rakiran, you can now grab Ice Rock Gorge. We gotta find you a nice fight as well. Auto-resolve. Blood Statuette of Spite. Ooh. I would like to put like several of those in one army. Man, I put when I played Krogar and Tlashbog the Thunderer's army, I had like, I don't know, 5 Rods of the Storm or something, plus Lore of the Heavens, and some Coatl, and it was just like a billion lightning strikes at once. It was amazing. I loved it. Anyway, and Gorok, grab the Shrine of Assyrian, please. Really? Close victory? This? Okay. It's gonna hurt these guys again. And the Juradon. Fair enough. Annoying, but fair enough. The Jaguar standards. Litot has Engine of the Gods. Good for Litot. That's a Tata 2, since we have multiple of them. Anyway, you guys. I mean, I guess you're gonna go this way. You're still waiting for your own troops, so I guess kind of stay together because neither of you can fight on your own very well until your armies are complete. Technically, if you can go this way, though. And Mazda, wait, did we start besieging this turn or last turn? I no longer recall. Let's find out as soon as you're done moving. This was last turn. Decisive victory and low casualties. Well, I'm disappointed, but auto-resolve. And occupy. Alright, Dauntless Province attained secured. I really wish that Black Ark had been brave enough to move towards us, but all good. And hey, Straits of Lothern is now ours. Mostly I want the tradable resources produced. What does the Shrine of Assyrian give us? Lord Recruit rank +1? That's something. And Gariel, we'll start with you because we can get wine there. Alrighty, who's up next? So that was Digga, Mazda Conqua. You have 2. Who do we give the Ancient Riperdactyls to? Alright, you know what? Move up here to meet these other armies for now. And we can make possibly an army out of those. Tyrannicon, you are going to grab Tordranil. Noctilus is back, but not for long. This might be fun to fight, eventually. Auto-resolve. Maybe allow that army to... 2 items. Nice. Maybe allow that army to sort of reach full level and then take it out. Tyrannicon, you don't need that Dragonfire handgun. That's going probably to one of our units in the fire army. You can keep the Ancient Steg, though. I think. Wait, actually, no, not for Tyrannicon. Trapped Upstart, you have Carnosaur, and that's fine in this army, but Tyrannicon, you're supposed to be a Horned One Rider because you lead the Chichiwichis Raiders. And you will continue to do so. Alright. Ancianam. Keep moving, bud. And Tehenuan, you are going to... Well, the ambush did nothing, and grab Tabarro and then get ready to besiege Skaven Blight. I'm willing to bet they will sally out once we're there. And, ow. Our alignments are full again. Alright. Another Rod of the Storm. I was just talking about those. Nice to have a few more. And prepare to give them all to Tlashbok again. He likes those, I hear. Anyway, where did we want to get a few of those alignments upgraded? Washti. Okay, so you're good. Crocky. I guess we can get another Quetzal Blessing here. They cost so much at this point that basically do one. Quetzal. There you go. Now we're down to 55. Alright. Easy enough. Who is next? Oshiotla, you... keep going up the river. Well, just land here. Going north. The bastion is sealed. We have kind of defeated all of the sort of enemies that are, you know, in the way down there. You will proceed to Carrick 8 Peaks, though I think we are waiting for the Thunder Lizards now, so you can sort of encamp here and more slowly approach it. Because I want those before we have a proper big fight against enemies. I don't want to waste the sort of enemies that are remaining around. Are you able to auto-resolve this now? Yes. Because obviously, you know, it's a pile of basic tier 2 work, boys. It's a horrific waste of time, especially with Lord Croak there. I don't think anybody's arguing that one. Some of the Chaos Dwarfs to the north might be fun to fight, though. And there's always more orcs, as I recall. Mount Gunbed, yeah, should be tier 5, so... can certainly go there. Anyway, yeah, don't bother building anything. Just because we're going to trade that to the elves. The useless elves. Zlatata is fine, is that Zoe's... good. You've gotten Quetgar's Temple Guard. Now, the question is, Quetgar, do we... Okay, what do we have here? Assuming that everything else is as it is, we could go for another Temple Guard, but we could get you a Blessed Temple Guard to act as your personal guard. So that's another option. And we'll have one in 4 turns. We have 2 spaces remaining. One would have to go anyway for... Well, can you do a Source Scarvet here? What do we have? Adjutant, Beast Hunter. Yeah, maybe we'll give you the Beast Hunter one. Act as your bodyguard. And then while we do want that Wood Elf unit, I am once again not sure if, well, it's ever possible to get 2. Even getting 1 is kind of a hassle. 84. But at least that'll be one source of toxic venom in this army that we have. Maybe 4 Blessed Ancient Stegs is too many. I'll think about it. I might reduce it to 3. We shall see. Otherwise, Latata is that Fikrik, you... Oh, actually, you're moving this way. I assume these guys can't immediately hit you in the sea. So you know what? Stay right here. I'm gonna help take some stuff with you, but you're mostly just being kept around because you have spare troops that we might send to other armies. Nikai, keep moving. Quetgar, you just stay here for one more turn. And because I'd rather end the turn, which is what we're going to do right now. Skip, 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 skip. Outpost, outpost, and turn. There we go. Settlement Besiege, Dragonfleet Port. Which one was that again? Oh, they might actually sally out. Huh. I guess we're about to find out. I'd say there's a distinct possibility because they have a decent garrison and that army is untried and untested. Alright, where are you? Zinch in the order. Lewin, what you want? Join war against Wulfric? He's so far... Hey, they did sally out. Alright, I don't mind fighting this. I mean, yeah, it's a decisive victory and casualties low, but this Saurus-tastic army hasn't yet fought, so why not give it the chance? I'm going to say we'll give the Razor standards to these guys. Strength and armor piercing damage. Actually, out of curiosity, what's their base armor piercing damage? 23 versus 23. Okay, so it's the same amount, but the 59 and 70 versus 64 and 60. Wait, we have higher melee attack on the spears? And what? 59, 70 versus 64, 63? Huh. The maces have more melee defense. Well, that's kind of interesting, but anyway, I'll just give it to these two. What do we have here? Totem of Prophecy. Gives recovery to units. How did you get 2 of these? How did we get these in the first place? These are really nice. I'm going to say give recovery to these guys, because we can get more mileage out of them because they have a lot more HP. Well, I mean, we have big amounts of HP on the Blessed Source as well, but these guys are single entities. But anyway, Wailing Banner. You already have Fear and Terror. So do you, so do you. I think we have no use for the Wailing Banner in this army. We should save it for a Skink army. Anyway, this should be a fun fight. We got some good stuff. Exalted Flamers, Regular Flamers, Soul Grinder, Lord of Change, etc. Go. Alrighty, here we go. Pilosaurus type units together. We got the two of the Lord and the Hero with the 2 units of Blessed Carnosaurs and the Geltblom's Terror as well. Should be nice, and we do have a lot of targets for the Carnosaurs. They gotta move quick and take out those Flamers, the Lords, the Soul Grinder, etc., etc., etc. We're gonna start the battle up by charging the Lord of Change with the Summoned Riperdactyls while we engage the first of the enemy Flamers. The massive pile of Saurus, slow moving as they are going to be closing the distance soon as well, and engaging all the enemies that they can. Now this Tzeentch Garrison, as Tzeentch Garrisons do have a tendency to have a lot of the Chaos spawn, and I think that'll be a very nice target for our piles of Carnosaurs to take care of. I would have preferred the orange-scaled Saurus in this particular situation, as the blue-scaled ones are kind of harder to tell apart from the Tzeentch units, especially from a distance. It's all blue fighting blue. Huh, wait. Which units have the red scales or orange scales, and which ones have the blue scales? It's not random, I take it. It depends on things. Not that it matters over much. Anyway, our Horned Ones and Cold One Spear Riders have closed the distance on both flanks as well, smashing into those Chaos Spawn, though the same said Chaos Spawn are getting kind of obliterated by the Carnosaurs anyway. There we go. We got 40 bonus versus a large on them, pretty solid. And frankly, this enemy army, by the looks of it, doesn't have a prayer. The Chaos Spawn and Forsaken are an effective classic combo, but certainly not enough to deal with this army. Especially with all of the blessed units provided by the Confederation. Remember, all blessed units that we have are immune to contact effects, and considering the nastiness of contact effects in SFO, generally speaking, it's a very, very valuable trait. Down goes the Lord of Change up in the sky, torn to shreds by the Riperdactyls, and fairly effectively, I might add. The bounce power shifts to about 95 and 100% in our favor. Now we just have to banish the rest of the demons. And chase down the Forsaken, I suppose, but we have enough riders of various kinds, enough fast movers to do it without a problem. Oh, I noticed that the Blessed Cold One Spear Riders have a decent amount of gold on them, armor-wise, huh? They kind of match they would kind of match the Legion of Tlaqua, wouldn't they? Who also have a lot of gold on them. Alright, anyway, with that, the last of the enemies... Well, actually, no, there are still 2, 3, 4, 5 units of Chaos Spawn remaining in this blob. But not for long. Frankly, the riders are probably getting in each other's way a little bit, just in their haste to get towards the... or in their competition to get towards the Chaos Spawn. Now, the last of them will shatter, and the battle is ours. Lovely. All right, there we go. Decent work. This was kind of the originally going to be the composition that I was going to give Mr. Gorok, or Krokar rather, but Kalaw here and the Defenders of the Great Plan kind of just gave it to us with the Confederation. Granted, split among several armies, and, well, it just sort of happened, and that's why Krokia is getting the Dread Saurians instead. Anyway, Dragonfleet Port will occupy you. Wound hero successful? You gotta be kidding me. Who the heck wounded somebody? Yeah, sure, enter war inside of ally. Okay, game, please, I want to see who got wounded. Who's this? Oh, that random little Cathan faction. You're willing to give us 7.5k? Why not? Just so we don't have to deal with you sailing somewhere and annoying us. What is it? Destroy units, Sacred Croxagores. Are you insane? No. An invaluable specimen, but it was meant as bait. The GEKOLO are already upon us. Oh! We get to try these guys out in a fight. Yes, yes, standard fight. I don't even know what you are. We're certainly not losing a Sacred Croxagore for this. And what do we have here? GEKOLO Chargers. Okay, so it looks like they're all monstrous infantry of various types. GEKOLO Spitters. All right, well, we'll check them out in the battle. See how they look and all that. Go, go, go. Alrighty, here we go. The GEKOLO ambush. Been waiting to check these out and see what these units are all about. I said, oh wow, these guys, kind of interesting big old sort of shield arms these guys have. Well, these guys are looking pretty tanky, and I'm willing to bet pretty tanky they are. I definitely do look alien. Like these guys, I wouldn't blink if they were in a 40k game, for example. Anyways, I was saying, somebody in the comments said that the GEKOLO are like xenomorphs, and yeah, I definitely see that. They're definitely like a hybrid xenomorph sort of deal. What are these guys? These are GEKOLO carnivores. There are also, what do we have here? Just want to take a look at them all. GEKOLO hunters. And, oh, I like the... they have the same kind of sort of... Well, I mean, just generally speaking, their masks and all that are similar to Lizardmen stuff, unsurprisingly. And then I believe there is one more type of GEKOLO unit, and these guys, GEKOLO spitters, and, ooh, they're reddish. I just want to take a look at all of them before we start fighting. Oh, I like these guys with their, I don't know, what do you call these things on their faces? Kind of like the, well, lizards have, I guess. Neat. Anyway, yeah, they look a little bit odd, I gotta say, and I don't know about the plausibility of this, but, you know, it's a mod and all that. We'll enjoy fighting them. I think my favorite of the looks is definitely the GEKOLO Chargers, the sort of big beefy ones. I kind of buy them a little bit more, and they look the least like xenomorphs here. Alrighty, well, we'll see how those Chargers do against our Croxagores, tank versus tank, though of course we have other units moving in to help out as well. And the Chargers have smashed into the line, and the first of them have suffered a pretty great amount of damage, though admittedly the Urnon Serpent and our hero are attacking them at the same time. Over all the way in the back line, the enemy Spitters are spitting away at the Sky Watchers, a unit of chameleon skinks here, but we have plenty of these. I wonder how much damage they do to a close formation unit that doesn't have a ton of missile resistance. Oh, looks like they're going to go into a rampage and charge into melee. Interesting. Probably a pretty effective hybrid unit, just judging by the way that they look. Anyway, those guys have been obliterated. The enemy's main line still stands, but who knows for how much longer. Over on the left flank, two of our chameleon stalkers and one of our units of Hellocks have taken the enemy apart. And in the center, the Chargers and the enemy meat shields, the wall of tanks, have been broken as well and will drop as they run, giving the battle to us. Alright, lovely. Will I assume... well, we'll unlock these guys and try them for ourselves a little bit. I'm admittedly not as crazy about these units as I am about the, you know, actual dinos and stuff. But we'll still try them out anyway. All right, there we go. So those were the last of the well, okay, maybe not quite last of the mod units that we haven't yet seen. There are a couple of other dinos that we haven't unlocked, but one of the last mod units that we have not seen. So yeah, these guys seem like kind of, I don't know, cross between Lizardmen and Xenomorphs. I guess Lizardman Xenomorph hybrid type deal. I'm kind of mad about them. At least with all of the dinos, whether they be, you know, sort of real world based Jurassic dinos or fantasy dinos, at least they seem kind of plausible, mod-wise, sort of friendly enough to the lore and whatnot. These guys are a little bit much for my taste, but it's a mod and all. I see what they're going for, and they're still an enjoyable opponent and all that. And we'll use them if we manage to unlock any. Anyway, we are going to... I mean, we don't really need to heal up, so take the money. Alrighty, and that ends the turn, and... Are there no... There it is. And, oh, okay, what do we have here? The GEKOLO have melted back into the trees. A few remain, however. While they are not hostile, this is neither a betrayal of their kind nor a peace offering. Each individual represents nothing but itself and hunts alongside whom it pleases. These ones have chosen to hunt with us, but how will the expedition receive them? So let them join our pack. Would I presume put them into this expedition? What does expand their horizons do? Unit added to the global recruitment pool. Ah, okay, well that's what we would have taken anyway. I feel like you should get some kind of reward for dismissing them, you know? Like, why wouldn't... This just adds them. You wouldn't have to recruit them necessarily, you know what I mean? And if you don't have to recruit... Okay, whatever, just add the expand their horizons. Wounded. Whoa, a level 18 Saurus Scarvet? Ugh, yeah, that's annoying. Really? A level 18 Saurus Scarvet got wounded by a level 3 Death Hag or a level... Actually, it was level 5 Sorceress. Gotta be kidding me. Okay, well, that's annoying. And I guess Digga will have to wait for him to return. Yeah, alrighty. Anyway, technology researched. Ooh, yes. Okay, so free armor of destiny, always nice. An unhappy populace somewhere, annoying. Rotool, I don't know who you are. Okay, some guy named Rotool somewhere. 31 old ones favor. We'll grab sequence of Tepok's will next. And then at last go for sequence against the ether, giving all our characters recovery. Afterwards. And oh, I was about to say afterwards or next time, but yeah, it's definitely next time because we're out of time and it's time to call the episode here. I guess since Grimgor has a full proper stack now, we'll be giving him a fight. And oh, on top of the 8 units of Black Orcs, he also has the Immortals in here, which is great, just tons of regiments of renown. Admittedly, not a lot in the way of anti-air, but, you know, we can always land and fight some of those Black Orcs just for the fun of it. Anyway, I'm going to call it here. Next time we will complete the Still 3 turns? Okay, you better not be bugged, and that better go away soon. Maybe it's because the GEKOLO attacked us that we... that it didn't move forward, because it's been stuck on 3 for a while now. I really want those Sholadokus and those Manticuda riders. The heck, game. Anyway, we'll continue the expedition and hopefully complete it next time, but at least we got to see the GEKOLO ambush this time around, so yeah. Anyway, stay tuned for more, and don't forget to leave those likes and comments below. All glory to the algorithm, and thanks for watching.